Hi guys, how are you? Welcome back. Welcome to YouTube. Welcome to everybody. How you doing? I'm back. Okay, so a lot of things to talk about. Um, don't forget to come down to patreon.com/realmacro. Follow over there for free. All right, so what's going on? I'm going to go over some of the posts that I have on TradingView. First one is going to be the dollar. Just posted that about an hour ago. All right, and you can see this little wave up. This is a small wave, by the way. Already cracked. Okay, so wait a couple days and see where this goes. The next one is going to be this one. Posted it today as well. End the Fed. This bullshit of end the Fed. End the Fed. Look, let's let's get this out of the way once and for all. The Fed cannot give unsecured loans. The Fed cannot buy bonds at issuance from the government. So there's no way in hell that the Fed can fund government. It's illegal. Okay, you can read at the bottom. I got all the laws. You can't do it. Okay, Congress cannot just decree money. Okay, starts with no, Congress votes twice. One on their wish list as to what they want to spend on, and the other one is to set the budget. Um, they don't just vote and money is magically appearing from nowhere and they go out and spend. Okay, um, Treasury has to tax and borrow before spending. That means the TGA, the Treasury General Account, must be full before spending. You can't spend zero. Okay, this is what MMT tells you, right? They can magically print from nothing $100 and then magically becomes $100 of assets to the private sector. Okay, this is pre-K stuff, arithmetic, right? You cannot spend $100 of nothing and then magically it's $100 to somebody. It's just mathematics. Um, so this bullshit of end the Fed is very, very bad. And anybody that tells you otherwise, um, they're bullshitting you. They don't know what the Fed does, right? They settle payments. That's their main function. Okay, they go out and set interest rates. They don't control the money supply, even though everybody believes they do. They don't print money out of thin air and give it to people. Um, Reserves are not funding. They don't fund anything. They just settle payments. That's all. It's just a payment system within the banking system. That's all reserves are. They don't fund anybody. Okay. Um, what else? And they set interest rate, like I said. Okay. So they can set short-term interest rates. Okay. Or they can use QE and control the entire yield curve. Try to control the entire yield curve. Okay. To influence the entire yield curve. The yield curve means the 10-year, the 20-year, the 30-year. Okay, and they influence. So how do they do that? Well, they print money. No, they don't. No, the balance sheet of the Fed increases, but the Fed doesn't go out and spend, right? So what they do is they give $100 in the open market, $100, and they get back a $100 bond. $100, $100 bond. $100, $100 bond. Does the money supply increase in the um, private sector? No, it's the same amount. It's $100 of bonds for $100 of reserves, cash, whatever, deposits. If you go and look, deposits did not increase as a result of QE. Why? Why didn't they? If it's money printing and that causes inflation, then you should see an increase in deposits. Doesn't happen. Okay. So QE is not inflationary. In fact, under QE, interest rates come down. So you can't have inflation and then at the same time have interest rates go down. It doesn't work like that. Because you need more dollars to buy more bonds to push up the bond value and then suppress interest rates. Okay, fair enough. The problem is when inflation spikes, everybody's going to start selling those bonds, and what's going to happen is the bond value is going to fall and interest rates are going to rise. You want to test that theory? Okay, test it. Go back to 2021, 22. Despite running QE, despite the QE 1, 2, and 3, infinity, and all that stuff back in the day, 2011, 2014, okay, interest rates went up. Bond value collapsed. They lost like $7 trillion. So, um, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that QE increases the money supply, everybody goes out spending, and then interest rates fall. It doesn't make sense. Okay, so this end the Fed bullshit, God forbid that Trump takes over the Fed, everything is going to collapse. Everything's going to go to fucking shit. And that's what I'm showing in this, where is it at? In this one here, okay? Anytime you start seeing the rule of law start to crumble, the Fed stops being independent, you're going to see these results. The currency will start to devalue. Okay? This is the Sri Lanka rupee. This is the Argentinian peso. And this is the Turkish lira. In all cases, all of them, the value of that currency collapsed, which means that the dollar was worth more and they were worth less. Okay? So if this, God forbid, should happen to the United States, this dollar index is just going to fucking tank. It's just going to collapse. All right? So anytime you have somebody sitting there saying, "Oh, end the Fed," you know, whether it be a monetarist, an Austrian, or an MMTer who's like, "Oh yeah, the Fed has it backwards. Yeah, higher interest rates cause inflation. They support the economy." All this nonsense. Erdogan has it right. All this, they're all idiots. They're lying to you. The last thing you want is for the Fed not to be independent. Okay, it's the firewall. It's the firewall between government and politicians taking over the money supply or taking over the printing presses for real, in the private sector. You don't want that firewall to drop off. All right, let's take a look at this chart. It first started to crack back in mid to late November. Okay, so it cracked and then it started to bounce and it created a structure below the structure, as you can see here. Okay, there was a flat top that started to occur, um, and what happened is it cracked again. So I posted this and I said, be careful, this cracked. Right? What happened since then? Popped a little bit and then kaboom! It cracked again. Not only did it crack, it created a new low. Okay, you see it? New low. Why is that important? Because you can't have a bear market or the market going down unless you have a new low, right? It's just not possible. So this is the first one that broke. This is the first low, lower low, and now we have a higher low. So it's starting to roll over. Okay, these are the first signs. This is what you look for. So this is a good trade. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin and gold. Yeah, my ear. All right. So the market was not willing to pay more than 38 ounces of gold for Bitcoin. Boom. It just went all the way up there and got stuck. See it? Nope, we're not paying no more than 38 ounces of gold for Bitcoin. And sure enough, it cracked. I posted it. It did crack. And you can see them here, all my little cracks. And what's happened since is it's dropped about 47%, I think. This is misleading. Yeah, see that? That looks a lot better. Um, so it's dropped about, I have a little bit of a cold, 47%. And since then, it's continued to fall. So another good call. Okay, you want to be in gold, not Bitcoin. All right. how much interest are we paying as a percentage of tax revenues? And it really shot up, okay, and now it's starting to roll over. So keep an eye on this one. All right, keep an eye on this one. Now the all-time highs were about 50% back in the 80s when we had that real high inflation. Okay. Uh, what's interesting about this chart is that interest rates are only 4.5%, and we're already hitting 33% of tax revenues. I think that's the important takeaway from here. How little interest rates had to rise, and boom, already we're 30. What do we top out at? 37%. That's problematic. And remember, this is only to sustain the previous debt. It's not like we're spending and making bridges and highways, new ones, and making the economy more efficient. So if you're only raising interest rates 5% and you're already hitting 33%, you can see the constraint, right? It's problematic. Taking a look at commodities overall, right? This thing's starting to cup, nice little cup here. It's about to take off. All right, this is about to go, so keep an eye on that one as well for commodities. But we know about that, right? Gold, silver is just taking off. All right, dollar versus the yen. So this recent move up in the dollar has been mostly attributed to the weakening Japanese yen. Okay, um, but now with Trump's bullshit, he's going to destroy the currency himself. But anyway, so I said look for the breakout. It broke out. It pushed higher. Another good call. Okay. Um, the problem is we got an idiot in the White House, and he's creating all these problems. I started warning that we're in uncharted territory. Silver is worth more than oil. This normally does not happen. The only time this happened before was when the Hunts brothers were trying to corner the market, right? So you got a nice little short squeeze in there, and yeah. So look at it today. It's far above the Hunts brothers' peak back there. Whatever happened. So why does that happen? Do we have inflation? Yeah, but not not that bad, right? So why is silver taking off? My guess is we're going to end up in a currency crisis. That's my thesis. That's my leading thesis right now, and that's why uh, gold and silver are behaving in that manner. Um, what else? Hmm, let's go take a look at this real quick. Come on, baby. Now, early on, I had posted this. I'm not sure exactly when. When did I post this? November 29th. All right, and I said, look, um, should you buy silver or should you buy gold? That was the question of this this post. And I was just showing the crack that silver started to outperform gold suddenly, and it was breaking out. And sure enough, look what's happened since, right? Silver has really outpaced gold. Then when you just look at silver by itself, at the time it looked like, wow, this thing is nosebleed territory. And that it went up even higher, just as we expected. Okay. So more evidence that we're heading towards some kind of a currency crisis. Okay. Good. Uh, ah, let's talk about this real quick and we'll end it. You know this bullshit you've been hearing probably on Twitter, like, oh, there's a rotation going on. Yeah, everybody's running into small caps. It's like, what, what in the world are you talking about? Well, look, it's breaking out, and it's going up. There's a rotation going on. It's like, guys, don't listen to that. Small caps are zombie companies, right? If if we're going to base the future indexes on small caps, we're all fucked, right? So, but look, it's a breakout. Yeah, I don't care. It's not going to last. Okay. So if you go to a smaller time frame, and you look at it, you'll see that it's already cracked. Big crack. It's not going to last. Don't fall for that stuff. You're going to hear a lot of stupid things from a lot of stupid people trying to create news events. Okay. Lastly, let's take a look at the S&P 500. Flat tops equals market drops, right? So look at that. See it? Boom, 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 boom. Went a little bit through it, but there was no follow through. There was no breakout. This should have exploded higher. Didn't happen. In fact, it broke the uptrend line here, not once, not twice, right? Broke it here, structure below the structure, and guess what? It didn't go anywhere, just as I expected. All right, there was a perfect setup for a inverse head and shoulders to break out, and it could have. And nope, nope. So we can expect at least a head test, which is all the way down here. And if that happens, that's going to be interesting. Okay. All right, that's about it, guys. Talked about the dollar. I'll talk a little bit about crypto. You guys didn't see this. I didn't post it, but my subscribers saw it. And I said, wait for the hook. Okay? So you got the wave one down. You got the 1, 2, 3 up. Wait for the hook. You got the hook. This is a wave two. This whole thing is going to resolve itself to the downside. Okay? So this was a big honey tick or honey dick move, trying to bring in some buyers only to F them in the end. So that's it. All right, guys, take care. I will see you, and come down to patreon.com/realmacro. All right, bye-bye.